A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, 4 people came together to drink beer / wine and talk Star Wars. Hey! Welcome to the Game for a Movie podcast. I am your host, Mike B. Tank. I am joined by...
Mitchell Clemens, who just drank a beer.
Andre Bellinger.
And our special guest tonight...
Claire!
Hey!
I know you from the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I haven't been on since before the wedding.
Yeah. Wow,
that's true.
I thought about saying Claire Butanic, but that's just boring.
Yeah.
First time as a married couple on the podcast.
Oh.
I want to barf.
Me too.
Married couple flow. I
Yes.
love it.
Already off to a good start now. We are drinking today. We've got a little bit of Powder Hollow, the smoky aftermath.
Ooh,
It's
I
so
love
good.
it.
Such a good smoke.
I haven't had this in a year and a half. Like it's
It's been forever.
yeah, it's been a long time.
We were in the area right by Middletown. There's a new one, and they had it on tap. Get a growler.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So go to Middletown, dude.
Now it's in
A
Middletown.
lot
Good to know.
closer. Where's the original one?
Hazardville.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where that is.
Yep.
That's near Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Cardigan Double IPA from New Park Brewing, bequeathed to me by one T-Dog, who is unfortunately absent. But here's the T-Dog.
We're going to play Where is T-Dog in a second. But Claire, would you like to say what you were drinking?
I'm drinking wine, Crafters Union Red Blend, gifted to me by my friend Michelle.
Yay, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
Hi.
Hey, girl, hey.
So do you guys want to play a little Where's T-Dog?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, I think T-Dog is on some sort of hidden Sith planet that's not been mentioned before in 8 movies, and we need to find a T-Dog locator, as it were. You know, a T-Dog wayfinder. We need that to find him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's where he is right now.
That's
Absolutely. Did you mention that T-Dog has put together his helmet, which he, is a big part of the last time we caught up with T-Dog. He destroyed it.
Right. That was a very pivotal moment.
A very pivotal moment in the character's history. I mean, T-Dog's history.
Yeah.
But now he's just melded it back together, and I don't know why.
Which is kind of lame, but at least it looks kind of cool because it has like red lines in it and stuff. Like
Yeah, it's going to sell toys.
Yeah, it looks good on the poster. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, T-Dog's new mask looks really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Claire, what do you think he is? Are you drinking his blood? Is that what it is? That's not wine.
Oh, there's the
I
red.
mean, I was trying to keep a low profile here, but
There you go.
All right, new T-Dog. That's Claire.
hit me.
Where I think T-Dog is probably seeing episode 9 because he still hasn't yet.
Yes, very true.
Winner!
So, yes. So, we're going to talk a little episode 9. If you have not seen it, here is your spoiler alert for episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
We're going to spoil the crap out of it.
Oh,
We're going to spoil
So
the crap out of
spoilers.
it. So, we continue the movie series, the trilogy, as it were, and finish with Rise of Skywalker, directed by J.J. Abrams, the first director of 7.
Yep.
And skip 8 and then go to 9 and he's back.
Yeah,
that's just like they always planned it.
Right, no. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
And speaking of things coming back, we have Palpatine. Palpatine is the big bad again.
Aww.
Yay, woo.
Yay.
Extra creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I will
he
say,
looked gross.
I'm gonna fuck up his name. Ian McDiarmid? Whatever, Palpatine's actor. He nailed it. He was awesome. He brought it. I don't know.
It's a hammy roll. You get to sink your teeth into it, have fun.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what it was. He got to be super creepy.
There's nothing wrong with the way he portrayed it. It's just more so, why do we have Palpatine again?
Exactly.
Because fan service. That's like what you can say.
On the last movie, why would you bring a new villain into the last movie of...
It's almost like there was no continuity between the three.
It's almost like Kylo Ren was set up to be the most interesting main antagonist of all Star Wars, and then they decided, nope, can't have that.
Yep, you take Snoke off the board, and suddenly all that's left is Kylo, and now all there's left is Palpatine with Kylo.
What about Hux?
Oh, yeah. Hux, I love Hux as, especially in The Last Jedi, he was used as kind of a joke piece.
Yes.
And he was hilarious. Everything from the prosthetic, eyebrows that they put on him, it was just so over the top, because that's what he was in Force Awakens, but they treated him serious when he was making his Nazi speech in front of everyone on that Death Star planet. He was like, I'm a serious bad guy. And Ryan Johnson looked at that and it's like, yo, you're a fucking tool.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a perfect interpretation of that character. A little remnant of that is still around in Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
But
They still have fun with them, but
The thing
very small role.
I hated that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely hated that. When he's just like, I'm the spy.
Yeah, I know. Oh, by the
God.
way, that is set up in Act 1, and sure enough, he's the spy in Act 3.
Yeah.
Smorky dork.
Like, I looked at Claire when we were watching the
He
movie,
did.
and it was just literally, oh my
So
God.
much disappointment across his face.
Yeah.
Because
So
it just,
much.
and, like, it's fine if he's the spy and whatever. It's the line, I'm the spy.
yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So we're going into a lot of plot points here, and I would just like to say this is a very plot-heavy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very
it's
plot-heavy.
almost like all the characters do is spout exposition and hop from planet
Yes!
to planet
Yeah.
on.
Yes!
Like, there's no character moments.
Yes!
It's just plot, and there's no character.
Correct.
It's oh god.
Oh God.
I feel like my main problem is that this movie needed to be 2 movies almost, right? If they wanted to do all the things they wanted to do in this movie, they needed more time and you needed to pace it out better.
Yeah, that was the thing that I keep talking about with Mike that drove me crazy. Like, it could have been a way better movie, maybe if it was broken up into 2. But the whole movie was just them, like, sarcastically saying little, like, tidbits to each other. There's no, like, actual conversation. Not that I need to, like, sit and have, like, long dialogue, but it was just, like, little... like bleeps here and there and jumping planet to planet. It drove me crazy.
And like I think I need that levity in Star Wars, like having those moments of having Poe like spout a quirk like, oh, they fly now, great, like that's totally fine. I just need more something meatier on top of that.
Right.
Yeah.
As well as, like, what I have hated about this trilogy is I feel like they always need to go somewhere. Like, it's just... We're here. We're at this planet. We need to find this Pathfinder. Oh, it's on this different one. Let's go here. Okay, let's go here. Let's go there.
Yeah.
And it's trying to get too many planets. Like, they had all these ideas for these unique planets. We've got the red salt planet or whatever. We've got this planet. It's underwater or whatever. And it's just, you don't need to go anywhere. You can sit in a spot and have a conversation and be like, hey, let's come up with a plan. Even it's just kind of. And especially with this last one, when they go to the planet with the water and it's the old Death Star and everything like that, like where they're just like, okay, we need to come up with a plan. Rey's just like, fuck you, I'm out, see ya, I'm going on my own.
Yeah. It's a very bloated movie, right? I mean, there's a lot of parts, especially in the first and third acts, where it's just like, oh my God, you're throwing so much information at me. None of it's going to stick.
Right.
And, for The Last Jedi, this movie, by the way, The Rise of Skywalker reaffirmed how much I love The Last Jedi.
Exactly. Right there with
And
you.
if I'm looking at Last Jedi, and I didn't think about the plan stuff before, Mike, that you brought it up, but even that is on the simpler side in terms of, all right, we're mainly on our ships, and then we got Kansabite, we got the planet that Rey and Luke are on, and then at the very end, we get the Salt Planet or whatever.
Right.
So it's very limited, and it all feels purposeful when we go to these different places. This just felt like an expose of like, hey, look at how Industrial Light and Magic can make all these cool different worlds, and they can.
Yeah.
Like the what's it called, Coachella universe. Or
Yeah,
Coachella.
Why couldn't we hang out in weird desert space Coachella for a little bit longer, right?
It was beautiful to look at, but at the end of the day, it felt so rushed. Like, oh, by the way, Lando's here. Like, what?
Right.
Like,
Sure.
Oh, by the way, there's Chewie. He's gone, and now...
Oh, just kidding.
No,
he's not
back.
gone. Yeah.
That's what I hated most about this movie. It was so non-committal to the things that I think would have made this a strong story.
There are 4 death fake-outs.
Yeah.
4 death fake-outs.
So, I got Chewie, C-3PO.
C-3PO, Chewie, Rey, and then, oh my god, what was the last one? There's like one more in my head. Oh, man. Oh, Kylo. In the middle of the movie, Kylo gets a fake-out death.
Yeah, they throw all that at the end with Kylo and Rey. But...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like he dies, which is a pivotal moment for Rey, I think, where she finds out that she is not only tapping into the Force, but this is the dark side.
Cool.
Lightning is coming out of her hands.
That 5-minute stretch where they were supposed to think at least that Chewie was dead, I was like, wow, like that's a really interesting character moment for Rey.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
That would have been awesome if they would have actually left Chewie died. If I was sitting there going, oh my God, Chewie, like it's sad, but at the same time, it is that character development of, hey, Rey just shot lightning out of her hands.
She has to live with that.
She has to live with it. Exactly. Yeah. She killed Chewie. Not Kylo Ren, not Palpatine, not Hux. She did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, the reason how our characters, we figure it out quite soon. Like, there's a cut scene where we see Chewie, blah, blah, blah. But Rey finds out because she could sense Chewie. Why couldn't she sense him initially when she thought she blew him up?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
what? What are we doing?
Not good.
Like, we can't just pick and choose when her force powers can come into play.
Even somebody like Finn, who's force sensitive,
Yeah.
like he could have sensed something,
Sure.
even if it's just a glimmer. I know it's not
Yeah.
as much as Rey.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still something. He could have figured out at least a little tinge of something where it's like, okay, because he can feel, according to like the backstory and stuff, he can feel when there's an imbalance in the Force.
Yeah.
Losing Chewie would have been an imbalance. It's
Yes.
not Force powered, but it's good versus evil.
And that's why he could wield the lightsaber. He was not great at it, but he could wield it.
Yep.
You know, so they do know that he is force sensitive.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, this is not an airtight plot. Even, there's a lot in it.
It feels like it was written. It just feels slapdash isn't the right word, but it's definitely very reactionary. Where I think they just look at the reaction from Last Jedi and they're like, "Oh, well, let's just let's give the fans what we think they want." You know,
Fan service the movie.
Yes.
It's fan service the movie.
and it just spends so much of its time undoing what the Last Jedi did, and it's rough. Like, as much as I love the Last Jedi, and I'm with you, Mitchell. This reaffirms my like for Last Jedi a lot. I almost kind of wish we had a different timeline where J.J. Abrams just had control of the whole trilogy and it was just all safe. You know, like if it was all just Force Awakens Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
Yeah.
Because this tries to be Force Awakens Part 3, where Part 2
wasn't.
Right, it was trying to make up that part 2 wasn't there, so it was like filling in the blanks.
Yes,
it just felt super bloated.
Right, there's a second movie that sets all the stuff that Rise of Skywalker tries to do.
Right,
yes.
And to me, that's a less impressive trilogy overall, but at least it's more cohesive.
Right,
but I don't know. I'm just ugh.
And these 3 movies came out in the span 2015 through 19, so 4 years, 3 movies. That's a lot. I don't care how big Disney is.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time to.
No,
absolutely, yeah.
Especially with something like this, like at least with especially looking at Disney, the Marvel series, you have different characters. You go to different movies because you have this character, that. So it's a lot of time in between your characters. Yeah. Thor 1 is way before Thor 2.
Right.
Like, you might have an Avengers movie where he's a piece of it,
right?
But it's
they take their time with that.
Exactly.
And I don't think they've cracked the code on that with Star Wars. Obviously, they haven't. Right. And now that they moved Kevin Feige in charge of that, so who knows how the Star Wars universe is going to be different.
Pause. Kevin Feige is in charge of Star Wars now?
Kevin Feige, in terms of the high-ranking film people inside Disney, he is now also overseeing Star Wars in addition to Marvel.
Oh.
So look that up.
Wow.
Fact check me.
Yeah.
But he is, because of the success of Marvel and the lack of backlash from fans in particular of how they treat characters.
Yeah.
They want a guy who they believe has that touch. I think you need a Star Wars guy. Kevin Feige's always been Marvel.
You need a separate.
Yeah, I think you need a separate. Right, because I don't want Star Wars to be another MCU. You know,
right. Neither do I.
Yeah, it's.
Man, I'm okay with Star Wars going into the ice for a little bit.
Well, right,
and they are.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, I think they have it in a weird place because like the Mandalorian is like that's huge right now, right?
It's much better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, I would also agree. But I feel like Star Wars is more set up to be, instead of a theatrical release, they're going to be putting on smaller stories almost. You know, like that's kind of what it's queued up for. Like the most well-liked Star Wars properties that came out last year rather, was the Disney Plus series and the video game that came out. Right. You know, those are the two like generally well-liked things. So
I heard it was really fun. The video game.
Yeah. I was just playing it before Mike came over. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Would you rank that ahead of Rise of Skywalker?
In terms of story, so far. I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you should pause it, wait for them to get another director, and then play that.
Oh, yeah.
Pause it again. They'll get the same director from before, and then see how it finishes.
Gotcha. Okay.
That way, it's an even playing field.
All right. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Sweet. I can't wait to fight Palpatine again.
Yeah. So you already know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like we have finished our discussion on episode 9. Unless anybody has any more thoughts about episode 9.
Raylo is just not a good call. I'm so salty about that final kiss. Just why? Ugh.
Oh, I actually had one more thought as well.
Yeah?
I was wrapping it up, and I had one more thought as well. What the fuck happened to Rose?
Oh yeah,
A
well,
very unpopular character, so they wrote her off.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
I was so pissed about that.
Yeah.
So they're claiming that a lot of her scenes were initially tied to Leia, and I feel like that's kind of another unfortunate circumstance around this movie is that they clearly wanted Leia to be a central focus of this film.
Right.
Unfortunately, with Carrie Fisher's passing, like that didn't work out.
Carrie Fisher was dead before The Last Jedi came out.
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
I know.
You can't
It's
give me that excuse.
I just wish. That's why I'm surprised that
Yeah.
it took so long for Leia's character to exit the movie as it did.
Right.
Like I just assumed going in that it's going to be like she's going to set Rey off on the adventure and then that's it, you know?
Yeah.
But no, like they just constantly bring her back and so I'm like, what?
Just
Guys,
a bunch
it
of
takes me
scenes of her just sitting there.
Right, and it's
Passively.
unfortunate because, like, again, I wanted to do right by the character, but it just takes me on the movie because I
Right.
know, like, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, and it's just
tough.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
don't
it's
know.
kind of weird. I mean, this is kind of separate, but it's weird to me that they keep bringing her back.
Yeah.
And then, like, Billy Lord's in the movie, too. So I'm just like, this is a weird, like...
Yes.
Yes.
Because just imagine doing a movie with your mom, but she's not really there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like it's
It
gotta
just,
be
like,
tough.
I know it's, like, you know, CGI or whatever, but it just, like, as a viewer, it just, like, sat with me kind of weird. So that's, like, I think about, like, when it's really boring and the plot kind of...
Your mind will wander.
That's what I think. Well, that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, oh, there's Carrie. Oh, there's Billy walking by. That's weird. And I know she's not there, but you know, it's just like,
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Right.
It's definitely a strange
But
thing.
you're right. I think initially Han's movie was Force Awakens, Luke's send-off was Last Jedi, and then Leia's send-off would have been whatever this movie was. So
Right.
the original concept, if Carrie Fisher was still with
Or
us.
Chewie's send off, which
He got his medal.
He got his medal. He got
Chewie
his
medal.
medal. Our boy got his medal, finally.
That made me chuckle when I saw it.
Yeah,
That made
that's
me
like the
chuckle.
fun, dumb kind of fan service
Yeah.
I'm like okay with. I'm like, fine, sure,
Like, how
give
would
him
she
the medal.
know about that? Like, oh,
Right.
who cares?
Yeah,
Whatever.
whatever.
Whatever. Movie.
Do we give this a rating?
Yeah.
we can give this a rating.
Cool.
What would you like to give it? Because if
you
you ask the questions, you get asked first.
Yeah.
yeah.
fine, I give it 2 retcons out of 5
2 retcons out of 5.
because on a base level, it's well made, and I had fun watching the dumb spaceships blow up the dumb, I don't know, things, and I just on a base level, I still had fun, and I still spoiling our rankings, but I still think it's more well made than the prequels. But that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a certain quality of having the experience of going to the theater and watching a Star Wars movie. When you see a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then when the John Williams score hits,
Yes.
it is
John Williams.
amazing. I don't care what words follow that. It's just an amazing feeling, and that alone is worth half a star. And that's why this is going to be a 2-star movie for me. So 2 Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Two Star Wars.
J.J.
out of
Abrams Star
5.
Wars.
2 Star Wars out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I give it 2.5
Yep.
Okay.
lightsaber blades.
Okay.
If you can keep adding blades, you get a little half one.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember when Rey looked like she was from the dark side and then she had 2-bladed lightsabers? Oh my god.
Like Darth Maul.
You're welcome.
You remember?
Oh, I remember.
I just remember the last line of the movie. I'm Rey Skywalker. Fuck. 1.5 stars.
I know.
It's enough to
I
piss
was
you
not
off. It's
happy
enough to
about
piss you
that.
off.
I was not happy about that.
Also saw that one coming. Just
I
no,
didn't,
no.
but I was like hoping for
Because
better,
who
though.
would be the Skywalker? Then that answers the question: where does the Rise of Skywalker come from? It has to
See,
come
I
from
had
her.
a good theory, but it
Yeah.
got shat on immediately.
What'd you think?
So I thought this was going to be the end of the Jedi term,
Yeah.
like the idea Jedi, and
Yeah.
then they were going to start a new belief system that was
The Skywalker.
the Skywalker or something like that.
Interesting.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was my
I
thought.
almost
of
could
it.
jive with that better, actually.
It's
Yeah.
it's an interesting
Yeah.
theory, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
something like I thought that would have been great, but
Sure.
You got
no,
some
we've
fun
got
ideas to explore.
Rey Skywalker.
Claire, what's your rating on Rise of Skywalker?
I'm on board with 2,
Okay.
Hop on the board.
but I don't know what I want to rate it as.
It's the most important part.
Coming up with something creative, unique.
Star Wars.
I am not creative or unique, so it's gonna be difficult.
You're unique.
I married you. You're unique enough.
That's sad.
I
I don't know.
Well, you think about it. I'm going to pour us
No,
another beer.
The moment's gone.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, here we go. Beer time.
I will say this, to be honest, and these movies, and especially the entire trilogy as a whole, and I'm including Last Jedi in this, like, it is incredibly hard to create a universe as expansive that George Lucas made.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
to build upon it.
Right.
And that's why it feels so awkward for fans. Yeah, he did the prequels and they're universally hated, but a lot of people will...
anymore, but yeah.
Right, maybe they're viewed with rose-colored glasses now,
Yes.
but the whole
Don't
idea...
say Rose, I'm still pissed about it.
Oh,
The Hobbit had more lines than Rose, damn it, fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, just the idea of this is his universe. He should author it as long as he's still alive.
Sure.
Not going to happen anymore. He sold it for $4 billion, but
Right.
yeah, I feel like
Chump
that's what
change,
a
you
lot of
shouldn't have
people are
sold
missing.
it.
Dude.
Yeah, Disney's like,
Homeboy was done, man. Like, fuck it.
It works.
Cash that check.
yeah, fuck it. $4 billion, dude. It's hard to turn down.
That photo with him just looking so dead with Mickey Mouse lightsaber is just an iconic photo.
And Bob Iger's grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I just ripped this motherfucker off. George is like, I know.
All right, well, let's jump into.
Gotta keep some of that.
Oh, you actually had a good point where I'm just like, oh, perfect. I got a little spot to come back in.
I snorted.
And then you snort laughter.
This is fun.
So we're definitely not cutting that.
Sorry, I ruined it.
No, you didn't ruin it. That's exactly what
Added
we need.
to
Added
it.
to it.
Yes,
Aww.
and
So we're going to rate the movies.
Rank them.
Rank
Power
them.
rankings.
Episode 1 through 9, as well as adding Rogue One and Solo.
Cool.
So we have 11.
Yes.
Yep.
We are going to go 11 through 8,
yes.
each of us.
Our bottom 4.
7 to 4, each of
Alright.
us.
Yes.
And then finally 3, 2, 1, the
Woo.
rest of the way.
Hell yeah.
Plus me.
Plus you.
Plus,
Are you just going to chime in, or you got your
I'll
list?
make comments when appropriate and when I can think of something good to say, and
All
then
right.
I'll talk about 3, 2, 1.
Hell yeah.
See, unlike T-Dog, who would have 2 movies and then just be like, that's my list.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
alright.
T-Dog.
No, G-Dog. We love
You
you.
would have freestyled.
He would have.
Yeah.
Who would like to lead us off?
All right, I guess
Where's
I
the
will.
worst?
We're starting from the bottom to the top. For
Bottom
the
to the
bottom
top.
4. All right,
Bottom
so
4.
my least favorite Star Wars is The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Followed up very closely by Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
And then a pretty sizable gap. Revenge of the Sith, and then finally Rise of Skywalker.
You really hate the prequels.
Yeah, no, I don't like them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
suck.
People, because I think I'm extra mad at them because now we're seeing kind of like a meme revival of sorts, because they're so badly acted and weirdly written that you can make awkward memes out of them and they're funny outside of context. But there's this weird cachet of people that think the prequels are better than the new movies, and I just fundamentally disagree with that. So,
Fair. Okay.
yeah.
Richard Brody, who is a New Yorker film critic, he wrote this huge op-ed arguing that the prequels are better than 4, 5, and 6. And it's enlightening.
Whoa.
I don't know how much he believed it, but
Sure.
it's enlightening when
How
you
much
view it
did
from
he
that
smoke before he did this?
I don't know. He is a very pretentious, and also he's a what's it called, a contrarian
Okay,
film
sure.
critic type.
That's
fair.
So I think he was just testing himself if
Just
he could
being
successfully
contrarian.
argue this.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
that's
Which,
fair.
yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, Mitchell, what's your bottom 4?
Yeah, so honestly, these could flip flop, but I have at 11 Attack of the Clones and number 10 The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
The Phantom Menace at least gave me the Darth Maul fight sequence, so
Right.
that was enough.
It
I
ended
rewatched
strongly.
that. Like, I'll go back and rewatch some of that. I think the choreography is fun.
And I mean, it also has the Duel of Fates in it.
The Duel of
like,
Fates.
Like, it's just anything John Williams. John Williams is like the best part of all these movies, I think, pretty much at this
And
point.
that was him, expanding upon a score that is so iconic.
Yeah.
So good for John, X amount of years later, still building on something that he built in 1977. So,
sure.
Very cool. Number 9, this movie committed the crime of being boring, and that is Solo. I did not like Solo.
Oh, wow.
There's one thing a Star Wars movie cannot be, and that is boring. It was very boring to me. I could not latch on to any of our lead characters, including Donald Glover as Lando, who by the way has sex with his robot.
He does.
What?
He definitely fucks that
Yes,
robot.
he definitely
fucks that robot, and that's why
That is
it's
canon.
number 2 on my list. No,
You know why?
Yeah.
Because Donald Glover fucks.
If Donald Glover does fuck, I gotta
he's
give him that.
robosexual, man. Like what? Like
Which
no
is
shame.
fine, and you're expanding the universe, you could argue that, but also my mind completely went in a different direction other than where the movie was going after that little nugget was dropped. So I thought it was boring. I thought the movie itself looked muddy. It just didn't look like a fun
the color
movie.
correction was off on that movie for sure.
Yeah. And then number 8, The Rise of Skywalker. We all had our takes on that.
Yes.
Cool. Not a fan of that movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair.
Okay.
So a lot of what you've heard goes triple for me. At the bottom, I've got Phantom Menace.
Yep.
Second to last, of course, Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
Rise of Skywalker makes an early appearance.
Whoa.
And then, different than the rest of you, I'm betting, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi's that low for you?
I hate
dudes. I hate Ewoks too.
They're neighbors.
Yeah.
My Return of the Jedi is neighbors to yours.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because I was just going to say, like, the fun fact, Solo's in my name.
Yeah. Right.
I hate Ewoks. I
Dude,
absolutely
I fucking hate Ewoks. They're proto Jar Jars. Everyone shits on Jar Jar Binks. He was that level of badness is already there with the Ewoks.
Plus, I can't exactly remember what movie it was, but I think that was when Boba Fett died in, like, the most embarrassing way.
Yeah, Boba Fett does nothing in that
Right.
movie. He's built up as this big... But everyone's complaining about Phasma. Dude, Boba Fett did it first, you know? Like, built up this huge villain and then did jack shit.
And the Wilhelm scream, I can't do it.
Which is a Star Wars staple, by the way.
It is a Star Wars staple.
Yes, for sure.
Which is fine if it wasn't a badass character
I
that
will
you just
say,
killed off.
Harrison Ford looked straight up bored in that movie. I think he was done being Han Solo way before he got put
Way
in that
before he
carbine.
got...
He died.
He wanted to get killed in the first movie.
Oh, there you go.
He wanted his character to have meaning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, that Return of the Jedi sneaks into my 8 spot.
Cool.
There you go.
So.
Wow, respect actually.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get shit for how
I
low
agree
had
with
mine.
I agree with everything you guys have said.
These are awful movies.
I don't have to chime in.
Okay,
easy
I
at the bottom.
actually, I mean, I will defend Solo a little bit in that I thought it was entertaining and harmless, and that's pretty much where I fall on that.
That you could definitely say harmless.
Yeah, you can definitely say harmless. You can't say entertaining, but
No,
yeah.
you can. You can.
It's
different shit.
I mean,
Different
Return
strokes.
of the Jedi is higher on my list, but I think if I watched it now for like the first time, I would agree with you that the Ewoks are stupid. But like I grew up watching 4, 5, 6, like my sister and I on road trips when I was like 10.
Yeah.
We had like the original trilogy on VHS, and that's what we watched. And so it's like, to me, it's like not plot reason I love
It's
that
childhood.
movie.
Like, it brings that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching it, and they were cute when I was younger.
I can also
I
argue.
agree with that. I agree
Yeah,
with that.
sure.
Claire was running it past me earlier when we were driving in the car. I said they're just little teddy bears, and like as much as I hate the stormtroopers and I think they're dumb because they can't shoot anything, how can you not
hilarious.
shoot a teddy bear that hobbles?
Right.
And she goes, "Well, what about Chewbacca? He's just a big teddy bear,
He's a giant teddy bear, just skinnier.
longer strides, and he can run."
However, but he cannot change.
He's a big target.
But he can't like change little positions that fast, like directions.
But Ewoks can't either because they hobble. They like
So maybe
march
they're
at
even.
you.
Maybe they're even.
Yeah, Ewoks permanently made the Empire. I mean, like maybe they should have been the butt of every joke by them because, right, as you said, stormtroopers can't shoot. But as soon as I saw 2 giant logs crush an AT-ST, I just stopped considering the Empire as an actual threat. It's
They're
like,
not.
all right, they're just mooks at that point,
Yep.
you know.
But it's a metaphor for the Vietnam War.
Oh, great! Wow, sick.
Real good.
Thanks, George.
Wow, thanks, George. Really layered commentary there. Jesus Christ.
All right, Andre, 7-4.
All right, 7-4. At 7, I have Solo. At 6, I have Return of the Jedi. 5, Rogue One, and 4, The Last Goddamn Jedi.
I will not be the last Jedi.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Interesting.
And I'm really,
Yep.
I will say, Last Jedi and my neighboring film are like they're just basically tied.
It's
so.
The Force Awakens.
It does, well, The Empire Strikes Back, you know, maybe I'm that guy. I don't know.
Spoilers.
Yeah, as I said, The Return of the Jedi is my least favorite of the original trilogy, but it still has that iconic, you know, final fight between Palps and Luke. Back when
Palps.
Wow.
Yo, what's up, pal?
Yeah, right. That's back when he was a cool villain because it was kind of fun and it was actually built to a final climactic showdown. And it
He's
was,
like every villain ever. He has a Brooklyn accent.
I am all the Sith. What are you gonna do about it? Oh my god.
Yes.
If you don't know, Andre, every single character he does comes from Brooklyn.
Especially when he's our dungeon master.
Indeed it is.
I'm learning one more accent besides Brooklyn. So
Just
a one up.
I'm looking forward to it.
What do you want? I'm a bugbear.
What do you want? I'm a bugbear. I'm just trying it. Oh God damn it. So yeah, I would say the gap between Rogue One and The Last Jedi is very large for me. Like Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, and Solo I tolerate. Like they're fine, and I will watch them if they're on. The Last Jedi I actively enjoy. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. The Rogue One, I would say, just in summary, 2/3, not a great movie, and then the final third is fantastic. I really love that. Just as soon as we get to the final scene on that final Scarif, I believe, it's the final planet. Everything there is just perfect. But up until that point, a little muddy. That's just where I'm at. So,
I'm with you.
Yep.
Cool. So at number 7, I have Revenge of the Sith. Am I the highest among the 3? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, never mind.
Definitely on you.
Yeah.
So I got Revenge of the Sith there. Look, it closed out the trilogy, and it was the one of the 3 where I just remembered that in-theater experience, and that definitely kind of skews it a little bit. It's not a great movie, but the in-theater experience of watching it all happen was fantastic.
You want to hear something sad?
What's up?
Attack of the Clones was my first IMAX movie.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, right.
But at least you got a good lecture of why sand is bad. You know, it's his course.
It's his course. It's rough. I felt like I was that sand right there, like on that screen.
Oh, God.
Anakin, she fell into the sand. Oh, okay.
I ain't going in there. You called the wrong Jedi. Number 6, Return of the Jedi. And now this one, you had at 6 as well. I will say, like, a good positive note for me, you mentioned the Palpatine versus Luke. For me, it was Darth Vader versus Luke. That was, like, the pivotal scene for me.
For sure.
In terms of, I've never felt more emotion put out in a lightsaber duel before. Where in Phantom Menace, you get Darth Maul. It's fun to watch. There's not a lot of storytelling. There's not a lot of emotion behind each blow. And in Return of the Jedi, he's struggling whether or not he should kill his father the entire time. And you feel that. You feel the rage at the end when he finally maims him, cuts off his arm. So I thought that's an incredibly well-done sequence. So Return of the Jedi, number 6. Number 5, Rogue One. Rogue One, for all the same reasons that Andre has it at 5, really love the third act. Number 4, The Force Awakens, a fun time at the movies. Again, great in-theater experience. I saw it the Friday it came out, and I was in Santa Barbara at the time. And there was, everyone was cheering at the right times. We clapped at the end. Some people, gasped when they saw Luke at the very last shot. So it was just a really fun time, and it did, I think, what is almost an impossible task of relaunching this series and also introducing new characters that we like or love in terms of Rey and Finn and all those guys, and then also reintroducing some fan favorites, in this case Han Solo. So, number 4.
Nice.
Don't forget BB-8.
Oh, BB-8.
BB-8.
Oh, my favorite
How can you
droid, by the
forget?
way.
Rude.
You're absolutely right.
How can you forget that?
I gotta say,
I feel bad.
BD-1 from the Jedi Fallen Order, the video game,
Yeah.
is kind of in the running for my favorite droid right now. Just saying.
Okay, nerd.
Big,
All right.
Just big ups.
I don't know
Big ups to
what that
BD-1. Big ups to BD-1.
If it's not on celluloid, I don't care.
7 for me is Solo.
Okay.
Just because a lot of reasons. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind it. Donald Glover is a pain to me.
That's a rough one. That was such a disappointing take.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And my problem was I was so excited about the casting when I heard it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, yes, this is great. Lando, perfect. This is great. And then it became, wow.
He was doing a Billy D impersonation the entire time.
Yeah, right.
What's up, Han? And it's just like,
Well,
it's so cheesy.
I will
don't
say
know.
the one thing I like about that interpretation is that he actually go with the "What's up, Han?" He's like, "It's Han," but okay.
That's
like
true.
that's like the one nod. I'm like, okay, I like
That's a
that.
good
Yeah.
nod for sure.
6, I got Last Jedi. It's a fun movie and everything like that.
Yep.
Right above it, it's
Yep.
Force Awakens.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed with your relaunching it and everything like that. And it holds a special place in my heart because of going to the theaters and experiencing Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And that's exactly it.
It's
It's
a
going
big
to the
deal.
theaters. It's not a good film, and I'm not going to defend that.
Sure.
No.
Exactly. That is the dumbest scene ever.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that your Morty or your
That's
Rick?
my. That's,
I don't know.
That's my Hayden Christensen, my friend. Ugh.
feel like
I
it's a
literally
Rick and
can't
Morty
remember
voice.
what happened in Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith was
That's
the
how
third one.
memorable.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's how memorable it is
Yeah.
to me.
That was the
That's
third
sad.
one, and yeah, it was like it's not it's not an awful film compared to some of the rest we have on this
Yeah.
list. But at the same time, like, it's not a good one. And I probably could have picked Force Awakens or Last Jedi to jump it.
Yep.
No, but I mean, like that's still
This
valid
is our
experience,
list,
right?
Exactly. This is our list,
This is,
and
this is
I
on the
will not-
Criterion Star Wars collection.
I
right?
will not defend Revenge of the Sith, but at the same time, to me,
Yep.
it's just, it brings that experience. And seeing all the memes has actually made it more like nostalgia
Sure.
for me.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous, but it's just that nostalgia feeling.
You bring up a good point though about Star Wars movies in general. It's
Yeah.
definitely the relationship between where you were in your life when you first watched them,
Yep.
and your love of them is going to be higher if you saw them at a younger age.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
And that's why the nostalgia thing was such a big deal for Rise of Skywalker. So, they just wanted to go back to the past and all that, which ended up hurting it. But I think that is a similar feeling that a lot of people will have, for sure.
There we go.
Going to 3?
Are we doing the top 3?
Yeah,
sir.
how are we doing this? I was
3,
confused.
2,
by that.
1.
3, 2,
So
1?
he's going to read his 3, 2, 1, or are we going 3, 2, 1?
I think we keep going.
I think
Yeah, I
we
think
keep
we
going.
can 3, 2, 1,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Because
gonna
that's
give-
too much.
That's
to
fair.
feel like.
That's fair.
And
No,
if-
no, no.
and
And
if
it's
it would-
easy enough to deduce at this point what
It
your
really
one will
is,
be.
yeah. Like, we
So-
have it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right, that's fine. Cool.
So, yeah, number 3, I have Force Awakens. Again, I said that this and Last Jedi are basically tied for me. The Last Jedi took more risks, and I respect that movie a little bit more in ways that it kind of tried to make. I don't know. It's different interpretation of Star Wars. Whereas The Force Awakens to me was just like going back to what you guys said, my favorite Star Wars going experience, just because I was just super excited for a safe Star Wars movie, and that's exactly what I got.
Right.
I mean, just when Poe like goes to the first X-wing run on the I forget the planet's name, but that green planet that they were on, when they actually fight the Empire for the first time or first.
So where they go to the temple and all that,
Yes,
where
correct.
Maz is and all that?
With Maz, yeah, like when they're like when the First Order is on, like pushing back all the rebels and everything, like, oh man, there's no hope, and then Poe does his runway and whatever, and like, oh man, that's one hell of a
There it is.
pilot. Exactly.
That's
That was
one hell
I
of
was
a
Finn right there. I was like, yeah, oh fuck yeah.
It's a cool shot.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of the interesting stuff that The Last Jedi capitalizes on, this movie sets up. I love Kylo Ren's introduction to this series. He is the legacy character. He is the Solo and Skywalker, and he's a bad guy. Like, he's a bad guy tempted by the light, and I really like that The Force Awakens was willing to introduce a character like that.
Yep.
I really was hoping you'd say tempted by the fruit of another, but
Why would you do that?
stuck in my head too. Everybody must suffer.
Number 2 for me is A New Hope. It's the movie that started it all. I honestly, I could watch the movie over and over and over again. Luke isn't exactly my favorite character in that movie because he's kind of whiny and he doesn't come to his own until the later movies, but still a fun time, easy to recommend to anybody. It's a classic. And then my top is kind of like the vanilla answer, but Empire Strikes Back.
That is
There's no vanilla answer.
Still,
Yeah, there is.
yeah, and I mean, it really is just like the perfect second dark chapter to me, like the perfect sequel to me, in that it raises the stakes, it fleshes out all of our main characters into being something more interesting instead of just being two-dimensional, a fun adventure. There's actually some depth to it. And yeah, I don't know. I love all of the all of the plots intertwining. There's usually with all the other Star Wars movies, there's plots that I'm like, okay, I just want to get to the good stuff. The Empire Strikes Back is nothing but the good stuff.
Okay.
So
Nice.
There we go.
I would agree that the Empire Strikes Back is probably the best movie. Like, if
Okay.
I was to look at, all right, Lawrence Kasdan with this script is amazing. I forgot who directed it, but George taking a seat back and just producing this film, I think opened up a lot of doors creatively, and they knocked it out of the park, which is why it's my number 3. So, so the Empire, and I will say this is a tight bunch at the top 3 for
sure.
me.
Yeah.
This could be a different order in a different day, but how it stands when I was writing it as I was leaving work, The Empire Strikes Back is number 3. And I will say this too, I used to, or when I was growing up, they re-released the original trilogy in cinemas, like in a build-up to The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Me and my dad saw every single one.
Nice.
And this one was the only one I did not fall asleep in.
There you go.
So, and not to say I didn't like the others at all, but I was a little kid, and this one for whatever reason captured my attention.
Nice.
So, The Empire Strikes Back, I love it quite dearly. Number 2, Star Wars, or A New Hope, as it was retroactively named.
Yep.
Star Wars. I mean, look, you cannot replicate the because I just rewatched this, by the way. It was like last week. I just decided to put on Disney Plus. What's up? And I just decided to give it a watch. And because there's a lot of line reads that age poorly. There's a lot of acting and special effects that just don't hold up, especially the new special effects that George Lucas put in.
Yeah, right.
And it's hard to not view that movie without those. Like Jabba the Hutt is in Star Wars now, and no, he is just a Jedi guy. He is not in the first Star Wars, but he is here. Anyway, it is fun. It is charming, and it's everything that you want in just like a fun time at the movies. And I just love Star Wars. It gives me the warm and fuzzies, unlike any of these other movies that I've listed. And then number one, not warm and fuzzy at all. It's a dark wine that you drink nice and slowly. That is The Last Jedi.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
God.
I love it that you are that guy. I fucking love it. Let's go.
Let me explain. Is it perfect? Hell no. The Cancel Bite stuff, while it has a lot of social commentary that Rian Johnson has sprinkled throughout his entire filmography, it is also a thing and a plot line that drags the movie down. There's a lot of fun moments, but at the end of the day, you probably could have cut it just a little bit. And then you look over at the biggest controversy of this film. Luke Skywalker is a crank. Well, you know what? I haven't seen this guy in 30 plus years, and if he's the same dude, why am I telling this story?
Yes, I will say on record, The Last Jedi is has my favorite interpretation of Luke Skywalker as a character.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, by a fucking
I'm
mile.
on board with that.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. He is a jaded Luke Skywalker who was, coming off the peak of his Jedi career and destroying the Empire. And suddenly he realizes the Sith isn't gone all the way, and he has to grapple with that.
Right.
And he does things that he regrets, and now he's living in shame and is out living as a hermit to die. By the way, Mark Hamill delivering his best on-screen performance. You could say the Joker is probably his best character ever.
Right.
But on screen, we were talking about New Hope and how that dude could not read a line to save his life. He had the charm, but pretty much nothing else. He was an actor in this movie, and Rian Johnson pushed him there. I watched the behind-the-scenes documentary on this movie, and he straight up says, Mark Hamill's like, yo, I do not like what Ryan has done to Luke.
Yeah.
Like at all. I'm fundamentally against what he put out there, but it's my job as an actor to give him my best performance. And, there's a little link there. Oh, it's from Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Anyway, and it's probably the best on-screen performance that I've seen from him, and it works. And then third, the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
I like how fleshed out it gets in Last Jedi, where like they start like it's they can connect kind of and everything like that.
Man, it's almost like you can have two characters with an interesting relationship, and that doesn't end up with them making out. Huh? Fascinating.
Exactly.
Wait, Andre, did you see 9?
What's that?
Did you see 9?
Episode 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ended up making out!
Oh! Why would you do that to me, JJ? It seems in your anger. You have ruined the fucking
Give
plot.
in to your anger.
Damn it. Anyways, yeah.
So that dynamic was electric, and that is, I would argue, the best special effect in that movie is Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver acting one-on-one with each other. So, yes, huge fan of The Last Jedi, and that is why it's my number one.
Hell yeah. Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a slightly different list.
Yes.
Okay.
Slightly, though,
Good.
because I will say at number 3, I have A New Hope.
Cool. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
For all the reasons.
Yes.
It's the one that
Classic.
started it. It's a classic. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Empire Strikes Back is my number 2.
Okay.
Just because at the end of it, you're literally going, wait, our heroes might lose? Like, I love that idea. That just is such a great twist to me, especially how old this movie was and everything like that. It was Empire Strikes Back is everything I could want from a Star Wars movie that's just different.
It is.
You know?
Yep. And they did lose. Like, if you ended there, they lost.
They lost.
You know?
Yeah.
Hans and Carbonite. You know, like, it literally, Lando fucked them all.
Exactly. Luke no longer has his hand. Like, it's like all these different things.
Yeah.
Yep. Just taking L's, you know?
So,
Taking these L's.
Taking these L's.
And my number 1 is very different than the rest of yours.
Uh-huh.
Not me.
Rogue One,
I know.
a Star Wars story.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Favorite. Okay.
Gareth Edwards' own.
Rogue
One.
So, what my thing is about Rogue One is just the first 2/3 of the movie. Yes, you're correct. It's not the greatest, but it does have some great character intros.
Yes.
Where they have to get a lot of characters quickly. And I like that about it because like the blind guy is one of my favorites. I can't remember his
Force
name.
is with me.
Yes,
Force is with me.
he's one of my favorites. K2 is my favorite droid, even besides BB-8.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Because it's Alan Tudyk,
Alan
and
Tudyk.
he is just outstanding.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the best. And literally that end sequence, like the whole planet, like the getting the plans, and then the fucking Darth Vader scene was so freaking awesome.
It was so good. Yeah,
It was
that
so
that
good.
that is fan service done right.
Exactly.
I would say.
And that is everything I wanted in my Star Wars movie. When I left the theater the first time, I was actually pissed at the movie because all of the characters died. But at the same time, like I was thinking, like, wait, they couldn't exist. And I watched it again. I was like, they actually gave each of them like a really good send off that made sense with the characters and everything like that.
Yes.
It was literally, it's just my favorite Star Wars movie. It is a popcorn flick through and through.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is Rogue One.
Yes.
Wow.
It's very self-contained outside of the Darth Vader stuff.
Right.
You know, it's just like, yeah, don't choke in your ambitions. I can't get over that.
I know, me
But-
neither. I was just about to say, that final sequence would have been so much cooler if I didn't know Darth Vader was in that movie and the trailers, and also with that first scene. Like I would, if I could, I would just have him only be in that final scene, and then that would just been mind blowing.
See, I went in not knowing that.
Oh, really? There you go.
I had no clue he was in
They
it.
they unfortunately, I mean, like he's marketable, so they showed that for where he unites the lightsaber. They showed that in the trailers. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah,
Whatever
right,
it may
right,
be. I didn't know that. So at the end, when he was there, holy fuck! Oh my god! Ah!
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
the alarms are going off in my head. Like
Yep.
it was. Oh, it was so good. So
It's a
yeah.
great payoff. It's a
Definitely.
great payoff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Claire, thoughts, comments, concerns?
My top three.
Mm.
I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it's all things that have been said and I agree with most of. Last Jedi, number 3.
Woo!
Yeah.
Join the clan.
Empire Strikes Back,
Yep.
for obvious reasons that have been said. And actually, Rogue One is my
Aw,
top.
that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
they
That's
married
why
each
we got
other.
married. Oh, so cute.
Damn, it's my achievement.
It expands on the universe while still sticking to the primary storyline.
And also, it plugs.
It's awesome.
It also plugs the biggest plot hole of the original Star Wars movie. Straight up, they explain why the Death Star has a dumb ass fucking weak point.
They found a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Like how he just built it and was like, you'll find the way.
That's Magnuson had it planned out all along.
Yeah.
I'm biased, though. I really like that. I mean, I like that movie for all the reasons we've talked about, but I love Felicity.
Yes. Felicity Jones is very,
She's my
very
favorite.
beautiful. Very beautiful. I will say this too, and I'm totally blanking on my point here. Or I'm choking on my point. He's
Don't
Choking
choke
on
on your
your ambition.
aspirations, Mitchell.
I'm off duty.
Claire's a nurse, everyone. That is the joke there.
I think everybody that listens knows.
So sorry, everyone. So sorry.
All three of you. Nice hearing from you. Hi, Kelly.
I don't know. I just love how they introduce a character who is not Force sensitive, but believes in the Force, like the antithesis of Han Solo in A New Hope. Where he's like, oh, you believe in that hokey shit? It's like, this is a guy who's just like, I'm one with the Force is with me. Even though he does not have any
He
Force
doesn't have a
powers.
lightsaber. He doesn't have a
Nothing.
It is
lightsaber. It's
religion
good.
for him,
Yeah.
and it
It's
centers
nothing.
him,
No, I did
and
like
it's
that.
beautiful, and it kind of taps into all the Eastern influences that the Jedi adopted because of George Lucas. But, you know,
Right.
it's all in that character, and I think that's amazing.
For sure.
That is great.
I do want to say real quick as a whole addendum to all this is that we spent a lot of time shitting on the latest movie in the series, but I still fucking love Star Wars. I'm excited to
Yes.
see
Yeah.
more stuff in it. There's something intangible about that universe that makes me want to constantly see more. You know,
See, the funny thing is, I'm looking at my list going, I would watch each of these except for Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones again.
Yeah.
there
Like
you go.
each and every one of them except for my bottom two. And that's just goes to show Star Wars. You know, it's
It's a fun universe, you know?
yeah.
It's great. It's imagination.
Yeah.
So you just do the Disney logo? Like what?
I'm Sarah Titanic.
It's like
You're
Disney.
watching Disney Channel.
I was thinking,
And
you know how many times I practiced that as a kid watching Disney Channel? Okay, screw you.
Why'd you draw a penis in the air?
Mickey, no!
So that will do it for our Star Wars talk. Next time, guys, I think we jump back into our normal format.
Yes.
Everybody is going to see a movie.
Uh-huh.
You guys are going to see what you want to see. I'm going to see what I'm forced to see, which I
Yay.
have already seen.
Yes.
And I've heard all about it.
And
It's
I have
terrible.
drank heavily about.
I heard it's a perfect movie.
Oh, nice. I get it.
I wish I could claw my eyes out.
That's good too.
So, that'll do it for me, Mike.
Claire.
Andre,
Mitchell.
See you guys next time on Game for a Movie.
may the force be with you.